Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody for attending today's work session on May 28th, 2024. We're going to start off by the Pledge of Allegiance, so if everybody could please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. So the supervisor's running a few minutes late, so we're going to do our best to get through some of the consent agenda until he arrives. So we do not have any outside of the consent agenda. We don't have anything outside of that for work sessions. So we're going to jump right in. Okay. Yep, so we have 3 public hearings this evening. Those public hearings will be at the town board session at 7 p.m. We're also going to postpone the development review actions for the 7 p.m. town board meeting as well. Personal appointments, right now I'm not seeing any current personal appointments. So then we're going to jump right into the consent agenda. There are no council member resolutions today. So we're going to jump to the town attorney resolution 2024-469. The consent to formation of Regency Commons Waterworks Corporation, 166 Klein Road. Any issues with that on consent? Okay, resolution 2024, number 470. Settlement of Article 7 matter, 570 DAB 38 LLC versus Town of Amherst. Any issues with that being on consent? None. Resolution 2024-471. The settlement of Article 7 matter, Benderson LLC versus the Town of Amherst. Any issues with that being on consent? None. Article 2024-472, settlement of Article 7 matter, Sherry Dev LLC versus Town of Amherst. Any issues with putting that on consent? Okay. Resolution 2024, number 473, Article 7 matter, 1401 Niagara Falls Boulevard LLC versus Town of Amherst. Any issues with that being on consent? None. It's okay. We are on town clerk.
Oh, okay. We'll get through consent agenda?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Town clerk, resolution 474, standard workday reporting resolution. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 475 is an amusement license for Amber Lee. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 476 is an amusement license for Hammerl Amusement Incorporated. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold that from consent? Resolution 477 is sealing and striping, CRS 4840 and CRS 4841. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 478 are budget transfers and amendments. Any questions regarding those? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 479 is an award bid 2024021 for a wheel loader, CRS 4837. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 480 is an award bid 2024019 MOYNO Progressive Cavity Pumps, CRS 4839. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 481 is an award of contract for audiometric services, CRS 4838. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Moving on to emergency services, resolution 482 is an agreement with the non-town of Amherst vehicle to park at Harlem Road Community Center, CRS ID 4830. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 483 is a budget neutral bond account transfer request for Royal Park Sports Complex improvements, Town of Amherst project 2019.055. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 484 is an auction of Highway Department surplus equipment, spring 2024. Any questions regarding that auction? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 485 is an award of the 2024 to 2025 purchasing, maintenance, materials, and construction bids, sections 9 through 15. Any questions regarding the awards? Any reason to withhold them from consent? Resolution 486 is an assistant food service manager for senior services. Any questions regarding the appointment? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 487 is the community development specialist in planning department. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 488 is program supervisor, youth and recreation department. Any questions regarding the appointment? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 489 is a sidewalk waiver request, SWW-2024-01, 924 Klein Road. There was a recommendation from the engineering, I believe, to deny the request. Does this board have any questions about the resolution? What, Dan?
I think the engineering department, if you look closely at their recommendation, you'll notice that it's based solely on the construction. Doesn't really take into consideration sidewalks that are in and around the area. So if you look at the map, I think there's a map in there, Tim. Yeah. There's no sidewalks on the north side of Klein Road. They are on the south side. So when Chris does an assessment, it's largely based on
Okay.
there's a paragraph at the bottom of the memo.
I don't think we should ask for a random sidewalk in
Like I
one
said,
spot.
I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of the engineering department's memo. Any questions regarding the sidewalk waiver request? Yep. Any reason to withhold granting the request from consent? Okay. Resolution 490 is an authorization of supervisor to sign a collaboration agreement to complete an analysis of impediments for fair housing choice, CRS 4833. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 491 is a permission to purchase for the Youth and Rec Department. Any questions regarding that purchase of school and art supplies? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 492 is a user agreement with Western New York Prism, CRS 4775. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 493 is a user agreement for fitness and parks, CRS 4798. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 494 is a grant distribution agreement, Delwood, CRS 4732. Any questions regarding the grant distribution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 495 is a lease agreement with Elder Care, CRS 4766. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 496 is a lease agreement for NYSSAC, CRS 4789. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 497 is a contract amendment for Day Smart, CRS 4849. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Communication 43 is a request for a public hearing for 1790, 1860, and 1920 North French Road and a portion of 999 Campbell Boulevard. Any reason not to grant that public hearing for June 24th via consent? Okay. Communication 44, correspondence from Sean Hopkins Esquire on 1789 Dodge Road. Do we want to handle that? So I'm gonna hold this to the end of work session here for a minute. And is that all right, Sean? Okay. Communication 45 is correspondence from Sean Hopkins Esquire, 4300 Millersport Highway. I recommend we receive this, and I guess what are we doing here, Dan? Referring it, or?
Question before the board as to whether or not you're willing to accept that road as a public road with the knowledge that the properties likely could be counted. That's the way we read, that's kind of the way we read it. So we're looking for the town board to say, yep, we're good with a public road here.
Okay. Sean, do you have do you want to come up, please? All right, I'm sorry.
So one of the topics that's arisen in connection with this project is whether or not the condominium status would be used. And we've submitted a letter unequivocally on behalf of the Samatos, who are the site developer, that they will not seek condo status. The small legal issue I have is I can't make that commitment for someone else that may buy it in development. And it is attached units, so we're not talking about the objection that most people have, including myself, to detached patio homes using condo status. My position is legally, if it meets the requirements for a public road, it should be accepted for dedication, just like every other road in the town of Amherst. It includes cul-de-sacs, et cetera. I mean, it's a legit road designed to town standards, and this issue's come up before the planning board, and we're seeking clarification.
It's a dead end?
No.
No, it's through.
It's a through, connecting Smith and New. And it was already approved before.
Yeah. And Steve, did you have a chance to review this? So what I would do, so it would have to be accepted by resolution.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't be accepted till way into the future after it's built. So I
So
think
you-
we're just seeking clarification. We're not asking you to accept it.
So
You can't.
why don't we do this? Why don't I refer it to Highway Department for review? And then pending Highway's direction will issue some kind of direction to proceed.
Yeah, I think.
I
Dan
do
and
want to make a comment, though. I do think having another through street over there that's a public road would be beneficial to that community.
I don't have necessarily have an issue with it. I think that Steve needs to at least see it before we.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So
Are you also seeking legal clarification of whether or not we can decline to accept a public road based on the status of the homes that are built on it?
So what I was going to ask for, and Dan and I discussed this, I think a referral not only to Highway Department, but Plan Department and Town Attorney's Office is appropriate.
Okay.
okay. So we'll refer it to Highway, the attorneys, and then engineering. Has engineering seen it? We'll refer it to.
Engineering has seen it.
They have. Okay. So we'll refer it to Highway and attorneys, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Planning, highway, attorneys, engineering.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mary Di? You want? No, okay, all right.
Well, maybe Linda does, or Daryl.
They're gonna tell me no, because they're gonna have to deal with finance. So, that's
Okay,
how,
I take that back.
that's how that'll go. But no, I mean, the reality is, we're gonna make sure everybody gets eyes on it officially, and then we'll go from there.
And that's all we're seeking.
Okay. All right. Communication 46 is correspondence regarding 455 and 495 Shellis. I think we've seen this come up with regards to the mentioned SA study, which is the crux of a lot of different things that we have going on with regards to this particular agenda. I would say that we need to officially, we have to deal with this officially. I'd like board members to.
I have been trying to do
I know,
this
I
for
get.
2 years since the report was completed.
I get it, but they're asking for a change to a report that we haven't. So I think the plan should be for us to review draft and then to have a new presentation on the current situation by the consultant at the next work session. or within the month of June, I would say, the next 2 work sessions.
Is the
possible.
consultant available to come back? I thought we finished with
should
the
be.
consultant.
It can-
Okay.
Okay, and then I think as a board, then we have to decide whether we're adopting it as is or looking for a modification. Part of the implementation
We
here.
have modified it 4 times already with your input and others' input.
I understand, but
It
this,
needs
that
to
was,
be
it was
done
also the
already.
last board. So I think we need to have a presentation and make a decision moving forward. And we can do that in June. I'm saying we gotta do it. Communication 47 is correspondence from Sean Hopkins regarding 166 Klein. This is the, formation of the Regency Commons Waterworks Corporation. I guess we're receiving this, referring it to engineering and to the attorney officially. Right, so what are we doing with the
We
communication then?
already did it.
Receive and file, fine, okay. Any reason not to do that via consent? Communication 48 is a notice of claim for Daniil Riegelman as a parent and natural guardian of Owen Riegelman versus the town of Amherst et al. Recommend we receive this, refer to the town attorney. Resolution 498 is a public improvement permit 3122 for sanitary sewer Harding Road subdivision 2005.101 /SUB 2022-01. So I'm gonna, so first, is there any reason not to accept the public improvement permit via consent? Okay, resolution 499 is a public improvement permit 3123, the water line on Hardy Road subdivision 2005.101 subdivision or sub 2022-01. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason not to accept the water line public improvement via consent? Resolution 500 is the private improvement permit 3124 storm system on Harding Road subdivision 2005-101 /SUB 2022-01. So I have had complaints about Harding Road. And Jeff, I don't know if you're familiar with this because some of the storm interceptors are actually up on lawns. And so it creates a washout at the end of driveway aprons and on the grass. I don't know, Mark or Jeff, if you've seen.
I believe those are on our town easements.
Yeah, but they're in the lawn itself, right, which creates an issue. So they're not. Some of the has anybody in this audience been out to Harding to review the locations of the storm interceptors?
But that's not the property that we're talking about. We're talking about the complaints are people who live on Harding and other sections, and maybe that needs to be looked at, but that's not the development.
I'm saying we have a stormwater issue in that area to begin with. I don't, Steve. So regarding the Harding Road subdivision, right, that was created now, are we confident in that storm system's tie-in? Before we go and accept the public improvement,
It's a private improvement.
it's a private improvement, but they're asking to turn it over to the public. So, Right, are we confident in how that system ties into the existing system? Sean, that's not your client, is it, by any chance?
No, that's Jeff Palumbo's. Well, it might
So if
not
we
be
have-
anymore.
If we have an existing storm issue, and now we're tying in, that's all I'm asking, is are we tying into are we making a bad system worse?
Okay.
And that's what I want to know. I'm willing to accept sanitary and the water line, but I'd like to hold resolution 500 until we know, Steve's got to deal with the rest of Harding, so how's this storm system tying into the rest of Harding? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay. So anybody have an issue with me withdrawing 3 for this meeting?
No.
Okay.
Now, before we go to to executive session,
We're gonna talk about Dodge.
yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. As the liaison to planning, I did not know you were pulling these things because we had discussed them moving ahead.
I don't have an issue moving ahead with the project, but it's been 2 years since we held a public hearing via Zoom, and there was a different board. So I think we need to reopen a hearing. And last time we talked about it, we were trying to get the process, right, unstuck to move ahead. But all of a sudden it ends on the agenda as a resolution, and I don't see how we could.
You told me to have it put on the agenda as a resolution. So if we're going to do something, we need to set a date to do something. If we're going to reopen the public hearing, we need to set a date tonight.
I'm okay doing that, but we need to set a date. So is it a 14-day notice, or what is the notice? I guess it doesn't,
I thought it was 10.
10-day notice. So we could do it,
Actually, Tim would be the one who could answer the timing better than anybody else. The 24th, that's what I thought.
what we could do is we could set it for the 24th and agree to set a decision date that night. Normally, we would set a decision date for 2 weeks following the public hearing. I'm saying let's just do both the same night. Sean?
My only problem with that is if you're gonna hold the hearing, there may be new comments as a new board member, I'd probably prefer that you know both the same night of the hearing, so that, again,
Fine, we'll reserve the right, or we're gonna reserve the capacity to vote that evening.
Fully support. I'd like it reopened. I know there were some comments 2 and 3 years ago at the planning board as well. I think it's smart, and I think it's the best decision going forward. I'd like to see the presentation as well.
And it would be also on the agenda the same time or possibly after the review of the SA district, in which this parcel is clearly denoted as a likely site for housing development of this
Yes,
nature.
and just as a reminder, our comp plan says it should be R3 as well.
Right, but I'm saying, so we
Okay, so the 24th,
Joe-
I just wanted a date
Right.
set.
You've been extremely patient with this board on this project. I think that the end is in sight. I just think we need to cross the finish line correctly and not try to skip over it lest we run into other issues. Okay? So we're going to.
24th is a public hearing.
Yeah, so we're going to notice a public hearing for the proposed rezoning of 1789 Dodge Road residential subdivision on July 24th at our board meeting.
No, June
June 24th, sorry. June 24th at our board meeting. And in that notice, I would just write that the board's reserving the capacity to vote that evening so that people are aware. Okay? Any issues with that? Okay, we'll do that via consent as a response to the correspondence. Okay.
And this will withdraw you to development actions for tonight.
Sean
Yeah,
already
we'll-
said
we'll-
that.
Okay, I just wanted to
Yes,
confirm.
we'll withhold them for this evening, and move forward. And then the SA piece should be presented to this board ahead of time, so we'll have that in our index of rationale. Okay, that said, I do have executive session topics. We have the CSEA negotiation and litigation updates. Bob, you're gonna come back first? Okay. I'm going to motion to adjourn to executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.